Hello and welcome to my new video. In this one I want to talk about my new song The Seed is Planted for my upcoming second solo record, the Scorn of Morality, which will be released on April 29, so stay tuned for that. And in this one I want to talk about more about the orchestra elements I did for the song. So here is the full project, and let's focus more on these elements here. And as you can see, there is a lot going on. And let's start with the intro, with the little intro here. So let's listen to it. So that's the little intro. And let's start with the piano. I used Chroma from Score, and most of the time I use the mellow ballad piano setting. But for this one I used just the default patch, and that's it, because it has a really nice attack in the notes. And in the intro here it's not much going on, just a few octaves for more a supportive element for the choir, and a little variation here. So let's play it in solo. And that's it. It's nothing special. And as you can see here with the starting points, I don't quantize everything. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I really like to play the stuff in with my piano here. And so I play the stuff in and I listen to it, and when it sounds good, it's good for me. So I just don't make things too complicated, and you don't have to quantize everything to death. So play it in, listen to it, and when it's good, then it's good for me. So let's play a little bit with the chroma so you can hear how this sounds. Yeah, as you can hear, it has a really nice sound. I really like this piano. So, and for the reverb, I used Black Hole from Eventide. And as you can see here, I used it as an insert, and with the mix knob at around 30. And that's also a point for more traditional orchestra stuff. I work more with sends and different reverbs. But for this one, I just used it as an insert, play with the mix knob, and then when it sounds good, it's good again. And there is also a little reverb inside the plugin, so I left it because it sounds good. And so here is it without the black hole. And with. So it has a nice little tail. So, and one thing I want to mention, I have my keys group here. I have just this little EQ going on, just a low and a high pass for the piano, and that's it. Again, the piano sounds great right out of the box, and just don't make things too complicated, so it sounds good and it's great. So let's move on to the cello section here. And for this one I used Jaeger from Audio Imperia. It's this library here. Again, great stuff, I love it. And I just used the legato patch from the cello section. And like the piano, it's more a supportive element. So let's listen to it in solo. And as you can see here, I didn't use much of the CC1 dynamics here. Just at the end for this nice little rise up. It's a nice interlude for the next section. But here I wanted a more stable and steady tone. So again, for more traditional orchestral stuff, I would definitely use more of these dynamics, but not for this one. It's okay for me here. So let's listen to it in combination with the other sounds. So, and as you can hear, it's like the piano, more a supportive element for the choir. And I used some EQ for the cello section here, just to cut out some of the low end, a little bit of the low mids, a little nice and round boost, around 2.5K. And as you can see here, I used a very broad and wide Q filter, so 0.8. And I like these broad filters for orchestra elements, but it depends. And yeah, that's it for the EQ, nothing special here. And for the reverb, this time I used a send. I used the midverb send here, and my midverb is this one, and it's the Pro R from FabFilter, and I used the Concert Hall Vienna setting, and following with a little EQ. It's an additional one. The Pro R has an inbuilt EQ, but I used another one just to make the reverb sound a little bit more clear. So, and that's it for the cello section here. So let's move on to the next section. It's right here, and as you can see, only the cellos are playing. So let's play this little piece here. And again, it's the same track. It's Jaeger from Audio Imperia, the legato cello section, and nothing special, just this little melody here. So let's play it in solo for you. And as I said before, not that much going on with the CC1 dynamics, because with all the metal stuff going on, I wanted a more stable and steady sound. With the exception for the end here, with this little ramp here. So that's it for this section. So let's move on to a much busier section here. And let's play it. Be careful, it's getting loud again. So again, we have the cello from Jaeger here. Then we have the low brass from Cinebrass Pro. It's the monster low brass articulations. And we have the 12 horn ensemble, also from Cinebrass Pro. So let's start with the cello melody. And as you can hear, nothing special, just these 4 tones, and this time with the dynamics at 127. That's probably unrealistic, but as I said before, I don't care. It's just for this, in combination with the metal sound, it works. Then we have the low brass. What I really like about the Cinebrass stuff, it's a really aggressive brass section. So when I play this stuff, let's move the mod wheel all the way up. So when you turn the mod wheel all the way up, you have this really aggressive sound, and as you can see here, I didn't turn it all the way up, but also very high, and again this nice little ramp at the end. So in combination with the celli, let's put the horns together. So with the horns, we have this nice, it's not a melody, but it's more intervals, and it's more about the harmony. And with the low brass, I just used octaves to support the sound. So, and in combination with the guitars, it's a combination of mid-range, and I really like that gritty sound in combination with the guitars. So let's play again the full track, and you can listen how the low brass supports the guitars. So it's getting loud again. As I said before, I really like this low brass sound together with the guitars. I don't have any EQ here, just in the orchestra group. I have this little EQ going on here. Nothing special, just the usual stuff. And for the horns, there is something extra going on, just another high and low pass. And we talked about the celli before. It's the same EQ. And yeah, that's it for this section. Now let's talk about the pre-chorus. And I play it first, so it's getting loud again. So that's the pre-chorus. And now I want you to listen to this pre-chorus without all these little elements. As you can see, it's not that much going on, just the spiccatos and the low brass and here the vocals. And just listen to this without the orchestra, so just the metal stuff. So it sounds good already, in my opinion, but I wanted another little details for this section. So let's start with the low brass. Again, I used Audio Imperia, but this time I used the Talos library. It's this library here. And I used the whip articulation for this. And it sounds like this in solo. So you have these nice recorded whips, and they sound great in my opinion. And then we have the spiccato section here. It's a nice little melody line with the spiccatos. And I used Nucleus from Audio Imperia. It is this one here. And I just used the ensemble patch these spiccatos sound like this. Just an up and down the notes. Let's see what I did here. C sharp and F sharp, and just following the chord progression. So, and again, let's play it without these spiccatos and without the Talos. And now with. So, and as you can hear, they don't stick out too much, but they support the overall metal sound. Really nice, in my opinion. And let's see, I have a compressor here going on for the spiccatos, just to tame it a little bit and make it a little bit more even. With around -5 gain reduction. And let's check, did I have some reverb here? No, nothing. And for the Talos horns, again, I have nothing. I have the mid-reverb here, as I talked before. It's the Pro R from FabFilter, but here with -4, so a little bit less reverb for these whips. And yeah, that's it for this. Now let's talk about these little vocals here. And for this one, I use the vocals by Merethe's Soltvedt. I hope I pronounced that right. Again, from the Jaeger library. And these are one of the best sample vocals I ever heard, to be honest. So let's play these in solo. It sounds absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. Because the thing is, with sampled vocals, even non-musicians, they hear when there is something going on, because it's a human voice. We all know the sound of the human voice. And everybody instantly hear when something is wrong, when the samples are wrong, the legato transitions are wrong. Because this is a legato patch, and just listen to these transitions here. They sound absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion. Let's listen to this transition here, from this note back to this note. Let's start with the beginning. Sounds absolutely fantastic. It's worth every cent, this library. So of course, I just have to use this for this little section. So without the vocals. So as you can hear, I played this little lead line with the guitars here. But I wanted these vocals here. Just these few notes, as I said before. Not too complicated, but it has to fit for the song. And in my opinion, these vocals for this pre-chorus, they are perfect. They sounded great. So, and for the EQ, nothing special again, just a low and high pass and a little dip at around 900, and I used This time I used Valhalla for this. Sometimes I use Seventh Heaven, I used Valhalla, it depends. And yeah, that's it for this section. Now we are at the chorus, and as you can see here, there is nothing going on with the orchestra in the chorus. So it sounds like this. And so on. Here we have this part again. We talked about this part before. Here we have the pre-chorus. It's the same thing as before. But here we have the vocals again. Let's start here. And again, I use the vocals from Merethe Soltvedt, from Jaeger. But here I used chorus, also from Audio Imperia, together with performance samples. And I used the man articulations, and I used the legato O patch. And as you can hear here, I paused the guitars. I used a little break in the guitars, so the vocals can shine too. So it sounds like this. Let's start here. So I like this little break, so I came up with this. So after this little break, the other instruments can take over, but in this little break, you hear these beautiful vocals here. I have to admit, you don't hear this main chorus that much in the full song going on, but just in this little break here. And again, for me, it's not about much complicated stuff. It's like, together with these lead guitars I played here, the combination is it for me. It's the combination of these elements, these melodies, and they complement each other very well, in my opinion. And as you can see and hear, the lead guitars, at this point, the lead guitars are taking over. So then let's move on. Here again. The second chorus is here, there's nothing going on. But here we have the first break, and it sounds like this. So, and as you can see, there are two instruments here, the trumpets. These are from Forzo, from Heaviosity. Also, I love their stuff, and I love Forzo. I love combining Forzo with other brass elements, so you get really nice tones, really different tones, melted into one big one. And the trumpets in solo sound like this. And as you can see here, the dynamics are full on. As I said many times before, I just don't care for this song. I just wanted these high trumpet sound in the higher notes. And I didn't care much about dynamics here. because with the busy metal stuff going on, I wanted these loud tones from the trumpet. In solo, it sounds like this. And when you hear this in solo, it sounds definitely a little bit unrealistic. But as I said before, it's all about the complete song, combining all these sounds for the complete song. So let's listen to the... So when I use this for traditional orchestra stuff, I would not do this. I would definitely use more of the dynamics here, but for this sound, it's okay for me. And let's listen to the horns. It's almost the same thing, just the melody goes up, then it goes down, then goes up. It sounds a little bit different. So let's listen to this first in solo. So again, when you hear this in solo, it's a little bit unrealistic, but let's play this together with the trumpet. Then. So as you can see here, I have both instruments together here, and they play together a nice harmony. And it doesn't sound bad with these high dynamics here. Of course, for more traditional orchestra, it's not that good, but for this metal stuff, it's okay for me. As I said before, don't make it too complicated. Try different stuff if it sounds good, and then it's good. So let's play this section without these two instruments. And with. And that's a point I really want to mention. So for metal stuff, I really prefer aggressive sounding libraries with a lot of high end, a lot of high mids, and I don't care that much about dynamics, just for the metal stuff. So I try things out, but if you have more quiet and softer passages of the song, then of course it's important to use different dynamics. But for this section, I want the full sound of the trumpet and the horns. And yeah, it sounds fine for me. Now we are at this little break here. And I play it first, so it's getting loud again. Now let's explain to you what I did here. So as you can see, we have the spiccato ensemble again from Nucleus. And here we have the horns from Talos, but here with the staccatissimo patch. And here we have the low brass, also with the staccatissimo patch. And here we have the woodwinds. I split these up in woodwinds high and woodwinds low. And for this one I used Albion 1 from Spitfire Audio. I used the woods high patch, and here I used the woods low. So these are combined patches, different low woodwind instruments together, and here different high woodwind instruments together. Sorry. So, and let's just play these together. And let's focus on this section a little bit. So, may you ask why I use woodwinds for that? The brass sounds so loud and mighty. Why woodwinds here? So let's mute these, just the brass alone. And now with the woodwinds again. And I hope you can hear this. These woodwinds have a nice little sparkle at the high end. And it really makes the sound more full, in my opinion. It has this nice, extremely high end. And we can see this when we add an analyzer or an EQ here. You can see this high end. There's not that much going on in the low mids, a little bit here, but I don't use that high notes, but more about that here. And again with the spiccatos. And now this section is a little bit different. And as you can hear, I use the brass, the staccatissimo brass, for these accents. And I use the spiccatos and the high woodwinds for the melody together, for this nice little spiccato ostinato line. And the low woodwinds together with the brass for the accents. So let's just play the low woodwinds and the low brass. And here the same thing. Of course you can say you don't have to use the low woodwinds, because in solo they sound like this. It's not that exciting, but in my opinion woodwinds are really great for combining stuff, especially low woodwinds. For example, the bassoon and the cello together, or here the brass staccatissimo and the woods, the short notes. So together with the brass. Of course the brass is louder, but the low woodwinds add a little bit more texture or a different sound to this. And the high woodwinds are playing together with the string spiccatos, these little melody lines here. Let's solo these two. And that's what I mentioned before. In the high woodwinds, you hear this sparkle high end. It adds a nice little touch, in my opinion. And the woodwinds, sometimes they are a little bit underestimated, in my opinion. Of course, it depends on the situation in the song and how much is going on with the other instruments. But when I play the section again, you really can hear the sparkle high end of the woodwinds. So it's getting loud again. So, and here, after my guitar solo, then the woodwind comes in together with the spiccatos and with this lead guitar line here. So again, just for this nice little sparkle high end. So that's it for this section. So the next section is this one. It's the same as before. We talked about this before. And here we have the pre-chorus again, but this time with another variation. And so let's play it. So as you can hear, I did a complete break here. And I didn't use the vocals here. So I used it 2 times before, but not here. So and here, the last chorus, it's different. I used the horns, but this time I used the Cinebrass 12 horn ensemble as before, and I used the horns from Forzo together. So it sounds like this in solo. And that's the last chorus, and as you can see here, again I used the high woodwinds, so you hear again this nice high sparkle. And in combination with the full mix. The woodwinds are a little bit quiet, but the point was just to hear that little sparkle high end as accents. So, and now let's talk about the very end here. Then I did a real, it's not a real orchestrated chord, but I did my best to make the sound bigger and bigger and bigger. And I used the trumpets, the horns from Cinebrass and the horns from Forzo. And I used the woodwinds ones from Woodwinds from Cinesamples. These are the chromatic scales. And here I use these string ones from Albion 1, the high ones, and here I used the low ones. So here in minor, here also in minor ascending 1 octave, But here, for the wind ones, I use the chromatic scale. So, and together with this chord, and let's listen to it first. So let's mute these ones here and let's focus on this chord. Let's make this a little bit bigger. For the strings, I use the Aware, I hope I pronounced it right, the Aware string ensemble, just the ensemble patch, the sustained. And I wanted to build up this thing, so it gets bigger and bigger. But the thing is, with too much notes in a big chord, you have to be really careful with the overtone series. So that's a complete another topic, maybe for another video, about the overtone series. So for the low tones, I used the octaves, and as you can see here, I use another octave, the C sharp, another C sharp, and here another C sharp. And here, let's play this in solo. So you can see here, I just used the octaves, and here a fifth, here another octave, and here another fifth. I don't use any third in here, just the octaves and the fifths. So you have a lot of notes going on, but the sound stays really focused and clear. And the thing is, with the overtone series, you can use, it's a common rule, you can use octaves are always safe. Don't use that much fifths and definitely not much thirds. So I use 2 fifths here, but I use the thirds. I think I did it in the trumpets. No, in the trumpets I use the octave and the fifths. So again, octaves and fifths. So together with the strings. Then we have the Cinebrass 12 horns. I used just the C sharp too. And then with the Forzo horns, let's see, again, I think I don't use the third here, just the octave, the C sharp, and the fifth, the G sharp. Yeah, that's it. I didn't remember correctly, so I didn't use any third here, just the octaves and the fifths. So you have this really clear sound with that many notes going on here. So let's bring on the full mix. And here we have these little ones here. Let's start from here. So here we have the Woodwinds. And again, these are recorded ones, so you can choose. You have different ones, patches here. And again, it's the same thing. Of course, you can program these ones, but if you have recorded ones, just use these. Most of the time, they sound so much better, in my opinion. So again, the Woodwind one. And here for the strings, I used the high ones from Albanian 1. I use the minor ascending in 1 octave. And here, the string ones low. The same thing, minor ascending in 1 octave. And together with the winds. So in theory, maybe it's a little bit confusing. I use these chromatic ones, and here I used minor ascending ones, but it sounds great to me. And together with the full mix. So I have this nice little built-up orchestra end. So yeah, that's it for the song. I hope you like this little walkthrough of the Orchestra Elements. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share and subscribe to my channel if you like. So yeah, thanks for watching and bye bye.